In the last 12 months, I've put in a lot of effort into my business. I started learning copywriting, I started learning marketing, and I wanted to work for multiple companies freelance. Like, I watched these videos and I was like, oh my God, I can put in like 20 minutes work to write this email and I can make like $5,000. Like, fuck, I'm gonna fucking do this. Yeah, 3 months later, I realized how much fucking harder it was than these guys on YouTube made it out to be. It was a lot harder, and I was really struggling. I was doing 20 to 40 outreaches a day, putting in more and more effort into each outreach. I started making videos like breaking down this company, you know, like, here's what you guys are doing, here's how you can improve, here's how you can make more money. And while I was doing work, I was not doing as much as I thought I could. My goal was 20 outreaches minimum per day. I wanted to do 40. It was very rare that I got more than 20, to be honest. And it was fucking like embarrassing. I was trying to do this work. I wanted to do this work. And I was learning all this stuff. I was putting in time. I was putting in effort. But when it actually came to the specific task of doing the work, like the time to actually do, my level of productivity was so fucking shit, to be honest, like fucking pathetic. And I've been learning about this for years. Like, I've been learning about this stuff since I was 16, right? I read Deep Work by Cal Newport when I was 16. I meditate, I put in all this effort. And actually, like, I have not been terribly unproductive forever. I've gone through incredible periods of immense productivity, like deep focus for hours and hours and hours a day. No distractions. When I was 18, studying for the Leaving Cert, the final exam in Ireland, I had the most unbelievable level of productivity and focus of anyone I know at this age, at 2 years ago at 18. The level of focus I was operating from was incredible. I still look back at that time and think, wow. Because for the first 1.5 years of preparing for those exams, in Ireland we have 2 years to prepare for this, like A-levels slash SAT equivalent. It's called the Leaving Cert, right? I didn't do shit for the first 1.5 years. Like, I did the bare minimum homework to not get in trouble, but I was not doing any extra studying. I remember, like, this kind of summarizes what I'm about to tell you. This summarizes my fucking work ethic. Like, I had a biology notes copy for the first year of these 2 years where we prepare for the exams. At the end of the year, I took every page out of it, ripped it out, mushed it all together and made a football. And me and my class played football when the teacher left. With a year of notes. That's how much I cared about this period. Like, I did not care. I did not want anything to do with school. I didn't care about doing well in this exam. I was done, like, you know. But we have mock exams for 4-ish months before the real exams, where we basically recreate the environment of these exams. We practice, and you kind of get to see what level you're at, see the grade you get in these different exams. And right before, maybe in the middle of these exams, I went to this lady, this guidance counselor, and she wasn't like a normal school guidance counselor. Like, she sent us out personality tests, interest tests, like skills tests, figure out like what career might be viable for you, where your skills are, your weaknesses, all of this. It took me like 3 hours to fill out all this. So she basically fully profiled my personality and all of this. And eventually I went to her and we had about a 2-hour discussion, and we actually picked a course that I was happy to do in college, the course I'm doing today. And that gave me a reason to care about this, because initially I didn't want to go to college. That's why I didn't care about school. That's why I was doing so little. But that gave me the spark, that gave me the motivation to try and get a good grade. And the drive I had for the next 4 months was incredible. I still look back at that time with so much pride, with so much nostalgia, because I was genuinely operating at my full potential at the time, in terms of my mental capability, in terms of my mental performance. And I started out like doing 3-4 hours of study a day. I was still doing my homework because we were still in school, but as it got closer to the exams, I stopped going into school and I just locked in at home. I kept up training, just like a little bit of the gym, just to stay sane. But other than that, I was absolutely not scrolling. I was not on social media. I wasn't going outside. I was just studying. In fact, I had 3 different places I would study in my house, and actually that building back in the background is one of the places, because I was studying in summertime, so it was quite nice there. But I had to make 3 different places to study, so I didn't go crazy, because I was studying at first like 3-4 hours, but gradually I ramped it up, and I was genuinely doing 8 to 10 hours per day in the last month or so of fully focused work. Not like sitting at my desk messing around for 4 hours and then doing decent work for the other 4. No, I mean I was locked the fuck in for 10 hours a day. Like, I genuinely didn't believe that was possible, because everyone says like you can only do 4 hours of deep work a day. I fully believe that. Even now, even 2 years after that, when I'm working hard, I still struggle to do more than 4 hours of deep work. I can do like 4 good hours, and then any other hours are kind of more chill. But I was so motivated by this deadline that I had, because I had a lot of work to catch up on. I was so motivated by this deadline that my brain just went to another level. It was just operating on an entirely different level to anything I'd experienced before. And a big part of that is because I completely stopped eating carbs. I stopped eating carbs completely, and my mind went to another level. It felt like I gained 20 IQ. I was able to focus so much more clearly, more easily. And I still firmly believe this is the reason that I was able to focus for such long hours, because now I eat some carbs for training and stuff. I can't focus for 8 to 10 hours. I just can't do it. Like, I try to ramp up, but I'm still nowhere near there. I think if I cut carbs back out and I went into this kind of locked in period that I was in then, I think I would have a similar level, a similar ability to focus as I was. And another thing I want to tell you guys about that I'm very passionate about. I'm very, very passionate about this, especially when it comes to studying. I pretty much refused to use or take notes during this entire period. I hated notes for all of school, but this entire period, I just didn't use my notes. Do you want to know why? Because I believe in the 80-20 rule. 80% of results come from 20% of tasks. People do so much LARP when it comes to studying. Like, they LARP so much. These fucking highlighter girls highlighting every fucking line, coloring in drawings on every page of their notes. Like, how do you have time to do drawings on every page of your notes? All I did is exam papers. I would get the exam papers of the past years and I would do all of them, practicing constantly, like hours and hours a day of exam papers. As it got closer, I'd start to practice full exam papers, like 3 hours, 3.5 hours of just an exam, no notes, actually doing another mock exam. My brain would be fried after these, by the way. Like, it was crazy. But I did these exam papers. I correct them myself. When I was in school, I could get my teachers to correct some, like for English, because it's very important for certain subjects. But because I was both the student and the examiner in terms of like how I was thinking, I got to the level where I started to see the mistakes that I was making right before I would make them. Like, I could see as an examiner, this is something I have to do. Oh no, I was going to write this, but then that doesn't go along with this rule in the marking scheme. I got to such a high level of understanding, not in the topics, not in the subject, but in the exams, because I don't care about learning biology that much. I care about getting a good grade in the biology exam. Biology was actually my worst subject, but that's besides the point. I still like tripled the grade I got in the mock exams, so, you know, it was still good progress. But I firmly believe in the 80-20 rule. In fact, I've kind of been forgetting this in my work lately in terms of like content creation and teaching you guys. But it truly is, those exam papers were like, there are so many things you can do when it comes to studying, so many different tasks. You can take notes, you can watch videos, you can read the textbook, so many different things. Exam papers were the reason for 90% of my results. Any extra things I did were because I had to do them, and they were to aid my results in these past exam papers. If I was going to make some notes, it was because I was really struggling with this specific topic in exam papers. Let's say, for example, I keep forgetting the chapter on the brain and biology. I keep forgetting like how neurons are made, or I can't remember any of this now, but I forget like how neurons are made. I keep forgetting it in the exam papers. I'll go watch a video from my favorite biology YouTuber. I'll make notes on key points, specifically things I've been forgetting, and then I'll go do exam papers on that topic specifically. That was pretty much all I did. Just make notes on the stuff I was struggling with, practice, repeat. For about 1,000 hours. I don't know how long, but like in 4 months, I literally took 2 days off. 2 days. I was grinding. And this reminds me, I left everything till the last 4 months. Like, I had 1.5 years to prepare for this exam. I didn't do shit until the last 4 months. And I think that was honestly like the best decision I could make. I think that was the reason I did so well. My dog is digging. Because personally, and I know this is the same for a lot of people, but personally, I perform extremely well under pressure. When I have a real deadline and I know I have to work or I'm not going to meet this deadline. In terms of this exam, I'm literally not going to know the material unless I study all day, every day. I say all day, but I still took a lot of breaks. Like, I lean very much into like the lion kind of mindset in terms of work. Like, work hard in one sprint of like 1 to 2 hours and then just rest and chill. But because all I was doing was working, like even when I was resting like half the day, I was still working like 10 hours studying. But I believe if I had started to try and study like full force at the beginning of the 2 years, I may have even done worse. Because I left it so late, I had to lock in so hard. I had no choice. I was waking up at 5 or 6 a.m. every morning because I had to study. I had to practice exam papers. Because I should have mentioned this. I was playing catch up for these 4 months. I wasn't flying ahead of my classmates. I was way behind and I was playing catch up just to get up to an acceptable level. But in the last 2 to 3 weeks, I want to say, the catch up really, really became clear. Specifically in maths, I was probably the worst, or one of the 2 or 3 worst students in my class of 20. and I actually ended up getting one of the best grades in my class, better than people who I thought were way ahead of me. Because in the last few weeks, everything started to click. I just clicked my joints when I said click. But it was magical. Everything started coming together. I started getting the highest grade in so many different parts of different subjects, like English essays, I started getting the highest grade. German listening comprehensions, maths exam papers, oh well, not quite the highest grade. Because in my mock exams, I got 24% in maths. And I brought that up to 79% in the real exam. Not a crazy impressive grade, but compared to 24%, that's a pretty big jump in such a short time frame. And that's why I firmly believe in the power of procrastination, the power of Parkinson's law. I really believe that procrastination is a superpower. And I don't know what the definition of procrastination is, like mentally. But now when I'm in college, I don't even procrastinate. I plan to do everything last minute. If I have an assignment, I see like, oh, I have an assignment due in a month. Start it the day before. If I start it like months before, it'll kind of be taking up space in my head. You know, I always, whenever I try to do something early, by the way, I am just so slow, so ridiculously unproductive, because I know like I have time, it's chill. But I don't like that, because I could take like 5 hours to do an assignment, whereas if I do it on the day of the deadline, I'll get it done in an hour. I won't know what it's about, and within 60 minutes I'll have it submitted, because I literally have no choice. Like I have no choice other than to figure out how to do it in this time frame. So yeah, that's if I was like giving advice to my younger self, I honestly wouldn't say, oh, you should start earlier, like because you left it so late. I would say leave it till the last minute and fucking figure out how to do it. Because when you leave something till the last minute, your brain will get to just an incredibly high level of focus. Like, many of you will know the book The Boy in the Striped Pajamas. I studied this in primary school. The first draft of that was written in 2.5 days. 2.5 days. It took us like 4 months to fucking read this book in school. He wrote it in 2.5 days. Do you know how crazy that is? Like when you have a debt, and because he just forced himself to fucking do it, he just gave himself a ridiculous time frame. If I tell you to write a book 3 days from now, you're gonna be like, fucking crazy? Are you an idiot? Like, you can't write a book in 3 days. I don't think so either. But if you put a gun to my head and say, you need to get a book out in 3 days, my brain, hopefully, probably would find a way to write a book in 3 days. If you're not a procrastinator, you don't know the power of this, but if you are a procrastinator, but you're still like quite a productive, intelligent person, you know this. You know procrastination is incredibly powerful. And you can take this to a higher level. This is like level 1, but you can take this to a higher level. If you're really mentally strong, if you have discipline, if you have willpower to actually follow through things and do what you say, there is a way that you can turn this into a superpower, and you don't even need an external deadline. If you can set deadlines for yourself, set competitions for yourself, you can abuse this power any day you want. You can abuse this power that you normally only get a few times a year, every day. Imagine being able to work at this highest level. Say you normally work like around here, 50% effort. This is 100%. You can get very damn close to that if you use deadlines. And how the fuck do you do that? Well, recently I've been working, and I was kind of getting a bit slow, a bit lazy, because it's the summertime. I have a lot more free time because I'm not in college right now. And it happens every summer. I get a bit lazy because I have the whole day. You know, I'm on my own schedule. And I get slow. So I started just competing with myself. I'm like, right, I set a timer on my second screen. I have a monitor here, my laptop here. I set a timer on the second screen to my side. 1 hour. You have to make 10 TikToks in 1 hour. Right. I'm a competitive person. I will take that challenge. I will take that challenge on. If I don't have a timer, I literally might take 2 hours to make 1 minute long video, one TikTok, because that's just how I'm wired. If I don't have a deadline, I'm just an idiot. If I set a deadline and a goal, 1 hour, 10 TikToks posted, or at least fully made, put in the drafts, I will get that done 9 times out of 10. 9 times out of 10, I'll meet that deadline. And I've realized this, that you don't have to have, at least me personally, because I'm very competitive and I really, really want to stick to my word when I say something. When I set that deadline, I will try my damnedest to meet it. I will try my hardest to meet it. And I've even had it. It gets to 5 minutes left. I've only posted like 7 TikToks. I have 5 minutes and I still have 3 to make. Somehow my brain just tunes up to another level and I will just blur through the work and it'll actually end up being good. I'll end up making one of my best videos in like 2 minutes. It's crazy. I can't even think, like, I don't have time to think. My brain just does it off instinct. And I'm pretty new to this, but I've still like made some of my best performing videos by doing this. So that's what I'm going to leave you with at the end of this video. Use the power of deadlines. Set yourself ridiculous goals and targets. Give yourself an hour to make 10 videos, to write 20 pages. Set some ridiculous but possible deadline. Make it like, you have to believe it's possible, because if you don't believe it's possible, it won't work. Set it that it's possible, but quite, like, very, very ambitious. And your brain will tune up to another level of productivity that you have never experienced before. Thank you so much for watching. Have a good day.